What's up, guys? This is Brave, and I'm back for another review of Belle Collective. This is season 3, episode 12, and the episode is titled Belle's Brunches and Baby. Let's get right into the review. So we come back to Letitia and Latrice having a conversation. Now, she feels like Cliff treats Latrice like a child, and yes, he does. But Latrice, she says that she's okay, and she feels like her husband is insecure because of the type of woman she is, and, who she is in the community, and she's a businesswoman, all this stuff. And I'm just like, yeah, but I feel like you're just now coming into your own, and that's the issue. Your husband still wants you to be that 20-something-year-old girl that he met who didn't know much, okay? So the only thing about this conversation that kept getting on my nerves is that the conversation is between Letitia and Latrice, and I feel like they're going through a similar situation. Like, Letitia could literally have this same conversation with herself in the mirror. She really could look at herself in the mirror and have this same conversation, and everything would ring true. But let's go ahead and move on. We see Akeisha and Gucci. They're dancing with JJ's girls, and Gucci ends up pulling him to the side. Like, she thanks them for coming out, and then she congratulates Sky on graduating. And I'm just like, that's interesting. This means that this girl graduated from college. Her dad probably attended the graduation, and you couldn't because you got beef with their mama. Even though you've been in these girls' lives for, over a decade. That's crazy to me. Like, you pressing charges on their mother and having a fight with their mother caused you to not be able to attend celebrating this girl's, one of her biggest milestones. You need to do better, Gucci. Like, seriously. So, let's go ahead and move on. So, we get this scene with Tambra. She is at the radio station. When I tell you I ran this scene back at least 3 times, just the top of the scene, because I'm like, what did Tambra say? All I know is I think she may have mentioned like the name of the radio station, but the way Tambra was talking, I was like, girl, what are you saying? Like, why are you enunciating words like this? You're on the radio. Like, you're on the radio every day. Is this what you sound like? I don't know, y'all. I cannot listen to Tambra if I lived in Jackson. But nonetheless, Letitia is there. Letitia is there to promote her brunch, okay? Because, she on a brunch tour. And Tambra is better than me. Because there's no way Letitia would have been able to come to my job to promote her businesses when at the end of the day, she is just as guilty as Marie for going to go see that man who has clearly mistreated Tambra in the past. But nonetheless, Letitia is here. She's promoting the brunch tour as well as her book, Why Side Pieces Are Winning. Tisha, why did you write this book? Or I don't even know if it's really a book. Because I feel like a lot of people say they wrote a book and it's really like 30 pages. Nonetheless, y'all let me know if her book is good, if anybody has read it. Now, according to Tambra, she's written a book as well. Why? I don't know. I'm like, are y'all writing like novels? Are you writing like urban fiction? What are y'all writing? Because I need for y'all to get out of the self-help realm. Because some of y'all self-help, y'all can't even take that advice yourselves. So who is you really helping? Nonetheless, according to Tisha, her book is supposed to be this self-help book, even though she can't help herself away from Glendale. So I can't take the book seriously. Y'all let me know if y'all read Letitia's book. Actually, let me know if y'all even read Tambra's book. But let's go ahead and move on. So Latrice, she goes to her hair store and she tells Josh that she's relaunching her edge tamer and she's having a very, very small event and invites all the girls. He reminds her that the girls don't like her But she's like, you know what? I'm still going to invite all of them. And I will say this about Latrice. She seems to be very supportive of the other Bells, even though they don't even rock with her like that. So Josh, he suggests that they have it at the new location. But she's like, no, it's not ready yet. And now Latrice's brother is actually involved with working on her salon. And I'm just like, well, is he even qualified in that? Because Josh called him the tree man. And I'm like, wait a second, I thought Cliff was the tree man. Because remember when they said Selena cheated on JJ with the tree man, which was supposed to be Cliff? So I wonder, did Cliff get her brother a job doing the same thing that he was doing, cutting down trees? Now, I will say that I am glad that her brother is getting involved with helping her remodel the salon or building, whatever it is, because I don't know what she's doing exactly. Is it a store, a salon, whatever? But the less Cliff is involved, the better. But let's go ahead and move on. So now we see Tambra. She's having a little date night with Damon. He's been remodeling that old looking house to give her some space, And I think she said that this is kind of giving her the same vibes of, the type of love her parents have. All right, good for her. Let's go ahead and move on. Like, honestly, nothing really happened with that date. We see Aikisha, though. She goes to the doctor, and so Gucci, she's there to support her. We actually learn that, Gucci, she lost her mom when she was 6 years old, and that is very, very sad. Because, everybody needs their mom, And Aikisha, she's going into this doctor's office, to talk about her blood pressure. Her blood pressure has been elevated lately, when she was back home in New York, when she's been in Jackson. So they're trying to figure out what's going on. Luckily for her, this time on this visit, to the doctor, her blood pressure was normal. So basically the doctor is asking her what's going on that could possibly elevate it. And she's like, I worry a lot about my kids because, I'm older and my kids are really young. So he's like, okay, well, we can put you on a very low dosage of medication. And she's like, no, I don't want to do that. Now, I don't knock her for doing that because here's the thing about high blood pressure medication. Once you start it, you cannot stop. From my knowledge, once you start taking high blood pressure medication, it's not something like if someone gives you the diagnosis of being pre-diabetic. Pre-diabetic means that there's a chance that you can change your diet, you can change your lifestyle, and move forward without taking medication. However, with high blood pressure, once you start, you basically have to take that for the rest of your life. So I understand why she wants to try something else before she gets to the medication. So he's like, you know what? Let me suggest to you a therapist, because maybe if you talk things out, it'll take the worry, off of you. And I was like, okay, that's a great solution for her. Let's go ahead and move on. We got to get to Latrice's event. This really was not an event, but I'm going to let them rock. Letitia gets there first. Y'all, what was happening with Letitia's hair? Why was it orange? Why did it look like that? It just didn't look good. I'm sorry. Letitia's hair, it did not look good at all to me. So then after that, a couple of the other girls, they trickled in. I believe it was Tambra. She showed up. And of course, she's pouring water. And Gucci showed up. That's who it was. Gucci shows up even though she don't like Latrice. And her whole reason of showing up was that way she could see what's going on. So at some point she can one-up Latrice. Yes, that was her words, okay? Not mine. So, at first, Latrice tried to pretend like it could have been a pregnancy announcement. But we already knew it was her announcing that her product will be in 120 stores nationwide. Honestly, that's a big deal. I am very proud of Latrice, considering she's just a girl from Jackson, Mississippi, you know what I'm saying, who has now been able to create a product that can be sold in multiple stores. That's amazing. Good for her. So, let's get to the brunch, though. That's the whole reason why we here. So, we at the Boss and Belle brunch. Now, the line is wrapped around the building. And I will say, Letitia, she looked good, okay? Letitia looked really nice at her brunch. And of course, all the Belles, they come through. Everybody's looking nice. The only person who wasn't there, I believe, was Aikisha. Yeah. Aikisha wasn't there. She also wasn't there at Latrice's thing. So I'm going to assume that these things may have happened around the same timeline. Like maybe, within the same week. And maybe Aikisha went back to New York. Because y'all, sometimes she be bouncing back and forth. But nonetheless, we see Latrice. Latrice is a little nervous, okay? We can see it when we first saw her there. Because she's not a public speaker. She's not. Even though she's been working with Letitia, she's not a public speaker. So, we got to get to the panel, right? Here's the thing. Before the panel even started, they were giving the ladies shots to take the edge off. Now, Latrice, she didn't want a shot. She just wanted some Remy. Okay, fine. So, we get the panel started. You have Letitia introducing everybody, calling Marie Monroe the biggest boss that you've seen thus far, as if she's Rick Ross. And here's the thing. All of the ladies had something in their cup. They all had champagne glasses or something in their cup. So everybody was up there drinking. And I'm like, Letitia, moving forward, you should not let your panelists drink. That should be an absolute no. I'm just saying. Because for the most part, I feel like you never know what these people might say. So let's limit the drinking. But one thing that I will say is that while Latrice was sitting up there that whole time, she looked extremely nervous sitting up there. So when it was finally her turn to speak, because I think they were talking about the transition from working a 9-to-5 to entrepreneurship, right? She gets up there and she says, who the F wants to work a 9-to-5? Here's the thing. That was absolutely the wrong thing to say, because you have employees who work a 9-to-5. And many of the women who are here, they work a 9-to-5. However, here's the thing. Letitia felt like it was extremely wrong, as well as Marie. But my thing is this. If this is a brunch that's supposed to teach women how to be entrepreneurs, it's not too far left for people to say, who wants to work a 9-to-5? Everybody should want to be, an entrepreneur, because that's what this whole brunch is about. It's about being an entrepreneur. So she wasn't too far off in my eyes. But nonetheless, as she's talking, she's kind of rambling. You can tell she's a little bit tipsy. But she does bring up some important facts about how she went and got a degree. She thought she was going to be making a certain amount of money. And she didn't do anything with that degree. Okay? And that's like a lot of people. They went to school for one thing, ended up doing something totally different with their life. And she talks about how, she was in all this debt. And that's what pushed her to entrepreneurship. Now, here's the thing for me. You have Marie in the confessional. And she's like, Latrice, what she said was wrong. And I feel like she's turning to alcohol because of her problems. Basically saying her problems with Cliff. Now, I would not say that. I feel like she was drinking to get through the panel. I don't think it had anything to do with Cliff in that moment. Or her issues at home at all. I think that she was very nervous. She's never really been a public speaker. And y'all have her on a panel. There's a lot of women in the room. And we already know this is going to be on TV. I think that she was just really nervous. But Marie got her own ideas of Latrice because she can't stand Latrice. Nonetheless, let's get to Tidora. Now, I don't know what Tidora was talking about in the beginning. However, I did catch on to this. She got up there talking about how, because I'm building all these homes. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. Big bossing it up. However, she then, talks about how, she's in construction, I guess. Now, I could have swore she's the girl who had, like, some type of banking business. What they got to do with construction, I don't know. But She says, who wants to pay $400,000 for a house? Do y'all even have that down here? I'm sorry. I was so taken aback. I was like, wait, what? Who says that? Like, get this woman off the stage. I'm like, y'all worried about Latrice. Latrice, at least she brought it around town and made it make sense. This right here, ain't no justifying this. So now you have Letitia. She trying to, think fast because that went south real quick. You have even women on the panel like, what are you talking about? And the audience, they weren't feeling it at all. So here comes So Gucci. And I'm just like, okay, at least she's a realtor. She gets up there and she's like, yes, we have houses that are worth $400,000. We also have houses that are worth more than that. I show them all the time. We have multi-million-dollar houses. And did y'all see how that girl was giving that fake hand clap though? I was like, oh no. See, T-Dora gotta go. T-Dora needs to go home. Here's my thing about all these brunches that people love to have. All because a person is an entrepreneur does not mean that they need to get up there and speak about anything. Because the way that they got to wherever they are, that don't mean that they are really for other people coming up and being successful. Because the way she downed Jackson, I don't know where that girl's from, but she could have stayed home. Everybody does not need to be a speaker. Every entrepreneur does not need to tell you how they got to where they got, because half the time they done schemed and scammed their way to where they are, but they ain't gonna tell you that part. Okay? But nonetheless, there is no way that y'all can tell me that these women are going to be extremely, inspired by what these entrepreneurs were talking about. But I'm going to let Letitia rock, okay? Or maybe it's me. I just wasn't moved by anything that these women said. So, last scene, we actually see that one of the Bells is at the doctor's office. And they are getting an ultrasound. We see that there is a bun in the oven for one of the Bells. Who's pregnant, you guys? I've heard whispers. Drop down in the comments and let me know who's actually having a baby, y'all. What y'all think about this episode? Do you think that the girls just hate Latrice? Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe to my channel, and I will talk to y'all in the next review. Bye, guys.